Christ. Thirdly, sober. Sober, we saw this last time. The literal translation is not wine, too much, being addicted. Mi oino polo prosecontas. In other words, as Phillips paraphrases it, they should not be over fond of wine. They should not be devoting themselves to it. They should be instead Ephesians 5:18 people, who are not drunk with wine wherein is excess, but instead are filled with the Spirit. They are those like the 7 in Acts 6, who were men chosen on account of the fact that they were full of the Spirit of God and of wisdom. It makes perfect sense. You don't want to send the widow's lunch with some guy who's half smashed down the street, do you? There's no saying where he's going to end up. He's coming down the road. Where's Mrs. So-and-so's house? Sorry, yeah. Would that be a good testimony for the church? Or there he goes again. Whoa, I wonder if he can get down to our house today. That's a deacon of the church and such. You say, that only brings disrepute on the name of Christ. That's the point. It's intensely practical. Fourthly, these individuals are to be satisfied individuals. In other words, they're not pursuing dishonest gain. Now, the reason I chose the word satisfied is because when Paul addresses this, as we'll come in chapter 6, to the wider church, he makes the point that the antidote to the love of money, which is the root of all kinds of evil, 1 Timothy 6:10, is said to be contentment. And the contentment is with food and clothes, verse 8. But if we have food and clothing, we will be content with that. People who want to get rich fall into temptation and a trap. So it only makes sense that if you have deacons dealing with money and dealing with produce and dealing with the disbursement of funds, that you have individuals who themselves are marked by contentedness with what they have. Because otherwise a number of things happen. Somebody is given the responsibility of diaconal charge within the church. They have the responsibility to disburse funds in certain ways. Then they become envious of the people who are getting the funds. Well, why are they getting this box? Why is this going to them? What about me? And if they are not individuals of integrity and they have access to that stuff, then they run the real risk of doing the one for me, one for him, another one for me, and one for her. And that, of course, is what happens in churches. That is why there is such disrepute that has come on the name of Christ. Because people will not do what the Bible says. They are not men of contentedness. They are men seeking unjust gain. Now, I can remember